It's me, Peach's Queen, and welcome to this week's episode of Peach Talk. This episode is called Auntie Anne, and that's because I get to interview my Auntie Anne. In this episode, we discuss what life was like growing up as the eldest girl of 11 siblings, being diagnosed with a debilitating disease called Parkinson's, which attacks the nervous system, her philanthropy as a volunteer in St. Vincent de Paul's, and her ever-growing jewellery collection. I hope you like this interview because I had so much fun talking to my Auntie Anne. Enjoy! Hello, Auntie Anne. How are you?
I'm fine, nephew. Look, I am great. You're looking fab.
Oh, thank you so much. Come here, I want to thank you for doing this interview, because I've been interviewing a lot of interesting people I know. And the reason you came to my mind was because I've always thought of you as someone who's absolutely fabulous and a very good mother and a fabulous aunt.
Oh, thank you very much.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
why did I agree? Why did I agree to come on?
Yeah, why?
Because you are a fabulous person. I'm very proud to say that you are my nephew. Sometimes. Most of the,
Maybe
most
not
of the time. No, it's a pleasure, look, to be invited. I was pleasantly surprised. I said to myself, what does this fella want me to do? I hope he's not expecting me to sing or strip or do anything. I thought you wanted me to be on your stage show.
Oh, you could be the backing dancer or play the maracas.
I'd be the whole orchestra.
And I'm going to start the interview off by saying you are the eldest sister of 12 children. Isn't that correct?
No, I am the eldest girl of 11 children.
Oh, 11, right.
Yeah. Where did the old one sneak in? Maybe it's you.
Well,
Maybe you're
probably, and sure, I'm dyslexic, so I lose count. But come here to me. I want to ask you what it was like growing up as the eldest girl in a house of 11 children.
It was absolutely brilliant. It was happy, sad, glad, funny. It was everything. But most of all, look, it was full of love.
And I would imagine so, because Nanny Lily was just divine. And I never got to meet Grandad Nicholas. But from what I heard, he was a fabulous man as well. So that sounds so nice to hear that.
Sure, look at the children they produced.
Oh, sure, listen. And the good looks that run in the family now.
Oh, sure, for goodness sake, the Waltons wouldn't get a look in at us.
No,
we're not the one.
And tell me, when you were growing up as the eldest daughter, did you have duties or responsibilities? I'm sure you would have done.
Yes, I had a list the length of your arm of my duties were the ironing and minding Jervis, who was the youngest at the time, still is the youngest, and who thought I was his mother because everywhere I went, I had to take him with me. Even the day I got engaged, wasn't allowed to go out with Raymond that night until I had the 3 boys back, and that was every Saturday night. But it was a wonderful, we fought, but we weren't allowed to fight. We fought with our mouths. Yeah. That was it. We weren't allowed to lift your hand. But there was very strict morals and principles in our house. We were brought up to respect others and other people's properties and to try to live a good life. And I think Mommy and Daddy succeeded in doing it with us all.
Oh, without a doubt. Come here, and who would have been the rule maker of the house, Nanny or Grandad?
Oh, she who must be obeyed. My mama.
Of course.
Of course. Don't treat me any different than you would the Queen.
And that's what she reminded me of. I think that's where I get my queenism from, is from Nanny Lily, because
you're right. I was thinking that last night. I think maybe they're going to unveil Luke and let us see that he really is a queen, a real queen.
There you go. I've always had this sense of importance, and it was probably from Nanny Lily.
It was, it would be. It wasn't from Grandad. It wasn't from your Grandad anyway, because he was He was a gentleman. He was a great. Mommy was a wonderful woman. She set up the Newry Gateway Club for children with disabilities over 30 years ago. She was a founder member of it, and her brother as well. She was a great woman, wonderful woman. She was very intelligent and wise. Of course, then all her children, with the exception of one or two.
Oh, I'd love to know who they
I'm not
were.
going to name any names.
No name, no shame.
No names, no names. I don't want to be sued getting a letter.
No. So, Anne, you said you had to look after the three youngest boys, who would have been my dad, Jervis, and David. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's it, yes.
Well, and what was my dad like growing up? What was he like as a young boy?
Very quiet, inoffensive child. You wouldn't have known he was in the house.
Oh, wow.
And your daddy used to wear glasses as a child. And he would put the glasses under the mat at the bottom of the stairs so that people would walk on top of them and break them, because he didn't want to wear glasses.
Well, how come he doesn't wear glasses anymore?
Well, I don't know. He must have got his eyes fixed. They do have opticians down south, don't they?
Maybe that's why he finds me not attractive.
I don't know what age. Oh, remember, he was near 10 when he still wore them.
Wow.
But he would hide them under the mat so somebody would go up on them and break them. He was a vandal.
A vandal. Well, that's where I get it from.
Practicing. I said, speak for yourself. She said, that's where we're all going.
No, I said that's where I got it from.
Oh, that's where you got it from. No, Malachi was a pleasure to behold. He was very good. They all were. They all had their faults and from one thing and another. None of us were perfect, but we could tell great stories from years ago, and especially to Jervis and David, who I can't remember. I mean, I think as far as we are concerned, we are ancient. My children are now what our boys were like. I get confused in who's the daughter or daughter-in-law or whatnot. We're getting another baby, by the way. I think I told you.
Who's having another baby?
Shane.
Oh my goodness.
Our Shane.
Shane. Oh, yeah. Shane and Maria.
Yes.
Oh God, Jesus, I love them. Do you know what, Anne? I loved coming up to your house because for me, it was you had the three boys who are very much involved in sports and what I would call, very heterosexual boys. And usually for a young gay lad, that would be intimidating. But your three boys were just always so fabulous to me. We always had the crack. And then your two girls, Joanne and Rachel, were absolutely fabulous as well. So I loved going to your house because of that diversity that was there. It was brilliant. You brought them up very well.
Do you remember? Thank you. Do you remember the day you came up and they were going to meet Shane and them and down the Brass Monkey? And you come up and you had white trousers on you and a white jacket.
Oh.
And the hair was blonde over one eye. Half your face was covered by the blonde hair. And he wanted to go, you wanted to go with Shane and them down to the Brass Monkey, but they didn't want you. Because they never seen anything.
It would have been like this fella like killed.
And Raymond, Lord Mercy, was up the stairs when Raymond came in from work. When you came down the stairs, he hadn't seen you, didn't know you were in the house or nothing. And he walked in the door and you ran towards him shouting, Uncle Raymie. And he got up and hugged you, and over your shoulder he's saying to me, who's this? And I said, Raymond, that is Luke. What's that fella word? That fella. He wouldn't believe that it was you. But then Shane said he would meet you down there in the Brass Monkey, right, rather than walk down with you. He was very discreet. And you went away on with, I don't know, probably with Pauline. I don't know. And then you followed down after him. When you walked into the pub, Shane sort of tried to hide so that you wouldn't see him. And the next thing you said, Shane, Mullen, all over the place. Everybody turned around and said, Shane was going to die of mortification because nobody knew what this thing in a white suit with makeup and all was. I think he was the first gay in Europe. No, Jared McGee was.
Oh,
So-
I'd say I should come here. I worked in the Brass Monkey.
You worked everywhere in every corner you could get yourself.
Yes, I did. I still am.
Oh, I was your mother laughing there. Hope she cleaned the house before she came out. Hello, Pauline.
Oh, brilliant.
Both of there.
So, Anne, you
So-
go on.
And then I left and went to work in the civil service. And I was 17 when I met Raymond, and I was married at 20 and had 2 children when I was 22, and then I had 3 more. So we had 5 children altogether.
Yeah, 5
And
years.
then I got married and I had the children, and they grew up as children do. And we, unfortunately, Raymond passed, and that was very hard to get through. But
I'd
with the
say
help
so.
of my children, with the help of the children who were wonderful, absolutely wonderful, and still are very, very good to me. Spoiled me sometimes, shouted at me all the time about not doing things right or wrong as regarding my illness, which is Parkinson's.
Well,
And
Anne,
I was
sorry to
diagnosed.
interrupt you. Sorry to interrupt for 1 minute, because you spoke about Uncle Raymond, who was just fabulous. Because I remember going to the house and he was always dressed immaculately, and he was just such a gorgeous person to be around. And I thought the 2 of you were just so cool looking together.
We were like right in the lane out of Coronation Street. I like to thought we were like Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton. They used to call us
She
Lane
married him
Rita
twice.
out of
Elizabeth
Coronation.
Taylor married him twice.
A couple of times.
Yeah.
Did she? No, she married him twice.
Yeah, she did.
She was beautiful.
Oh,
Did you not meet her in any corner?
Elizabeth Taylor, I bloody wish I would have robbed the jewellery off her neck, like that necklace you're wearing. I'd love that.
Isn't it lovely?
And
Good work at that.
I want to ask you, so you met Raymond and then you moved out of the house and then you had the kids. What way did you run your household that was different to High Street? Now, wasn't High Street where you grew up, or Hill Street?
High Street.
High Street, that's right.
High Street. I lived in 127 High Street. Then when we got married, we moved across the street. And then we moved up to Mount Pleasant, where we are now.
Yeah.
We're here. And the difference, well, there's difference in children for a start, because they got cheekier.
Oh.
They're not my children. Not mine were well-bred.
Oh,
Well-bred children. Life changed, look. Life just changed. We had everything that money can't buy.
Yeah.
We had freedom.
Yeah.
We had security.
Mm-hmm.
You come in and you shouted mommy, and your mommy was there. You always knew she was going to do somewhere. Now the children are coming in from school. There's nobody there. There's no dinner. There's no nothing.
Yeah.
There's no rules or thing or anything. Routine. There's no routine in their lives. And I think this is what happened to the generation that we have now, because I mean, there's no respect for themselves. So how do you expect others to expect to respect
Well,
them?
look, for want of a better word, Auntie Anne, I think they're all going to be fucked, because they just, people have no scruples anymore.
None.
Yeah.
None whatsoever. No morals or principles.
No, which is a shame. I mean, I have very few morals and principles, but the few that I do have, I appreciate.
Are you sure you choose it? Would that be 2 or 3?
Probably 2. And I want to ask you now. So you met Rainey, you had the family, but then when were you diagnosed with Parkinson's?
25 years ago.
Wow. And what is Parkinson's, Anne?
Parkinson's is a debilitating disease which affects the nervous system. The difference in Parkinson's and MS is like, say you had a wire covered in insulated piece of wire. Well, MS chews away at that wire until the wire is naked, and that's the worst. But Parkinson's, it only chews at the either end of the wire.
Jesus.
But it affects everybody in a different way, totally different way. But I mean, when I was diagnosed, I hadn't a clue what it was. None of us had.
Yeah, yeah.
None of the children or anybody had. So I had to learn, but I didn't learn and don't want to learn because I'd rather not know anything.
Fair enough.
Because it's going
Ignorance is bliss, as they say.
Yes.
Yeah.
If whatever's going to happen is going to happen, that'll be it.
Yeah.
There's no point in me sitting with a book on my knee waiting for something to happen that maybe won't happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I've spent my time sitting waiting for it.
Yeah.
But it's not pleasant to have it. It's very it holds you back from doing lots of things. But then again, it all depends on what mood you're in. If you're in a good mood.
Fair enough.
If we're in a good mood, we used to, Raymond and I would say, come on, the movers and the shakers. I was the shaker and he was the mover on the dance floor. And then he'd buzz off and get vodka, and he would be the one that was moving and shaking.
After the vodkas.
After the vodka is right.
Oh, and Anne, you told me that did you find a Parkinson's support group, or are you part of a Parkinson's support group? What's that story?
When I was diagnosed down in Belfast that day, and we came out of the hospital, and we just looked at one another, and I said to Raymond, what happens now? Where do we go? What happens? So we went back into the hospital, and the nurse says, "Well, come back down next week and somebody will talk to you." And that was it. We were back out on the street again with after getting diagnosed, but no backup or no information or anything. So I decided then that I would set up a support group in Uri. And we did. So at the start, men were very reluctant to join, but then we now have more men than women.
Wow.
And it's going from, so there's over 100 people now, and it's going from strength to strength. And there's no two people the same in it. No two people at all. We're all completely different. Some people have a terrible tremor. I was lucky enough now that I didn't get a tremor.
Right.
Our children used to put the pram in front of me and put my hand on the pram, and I would be shaking, and the pram would shake and put the child to sleep. They use me as the sleep inducer. I'd be sitting on the couch and the hand on the
baby.
Rattling the baby.
Fabulous.
Rattling the child.
So, my next question, sorry, the next question there is, then you started working for St. Vincent de Paul, yes?
I did. He was a lovely man.
Oh, back in the day. What made you start working for St. Vincent de Paul?
Because nobody else would have me. I wanted to work in a second-hand shop.
Yeah.
A charity shop. Because that's where all the interesting things come in. Things that people think are no good and are very valuable. Maybe not in money. It doesn't have to be old to be valuable or an antique or anything.
Yeah.
But the stuff that people throw out is unreal. And coming up to Christmas, the stuff that they get donated to them, it's unbelievable, the generosity. The people of Newry are very generous when it comes to charities, and especially Vincent de Paul, because they are a marvellous charity helping the needy. And there's plenty of needy about now.
Well, there certainly is.
I went and I was in the charity shop for 23 years.
My God.
And
man.
I loved it. And you used to go to the boot sales over in England.
Yeah.
I'd go, go over, would get a plane in the morning at 5 o'clock from Bristol, fly into Bristol, hire a car and drive down to this gigantic field where the boot sale would be. You see them on the television, but I couldn't believe it when I got out of the car and seen this crowds and crowds of people. But here I spied this fur coat. This is in July. I spied this fur coat, and I don't like fur because I don't like cats. And I said to your man, "And much are you looking for the coat?" He said, "It's £20." It was £30. But anyway, cutting a big long story short, I got the coat for £20. And I took it and went round the back of the stall, and was in Harrods written on it. It had come out of Harrods. And so I went back around and I says, you sure you can't do it for anything less? I wasn't letting go of it no matter what he was going to charge me. And he gave me got the coat. But the question was, how was I getting a full length fur coat home on the wee plane in the middle of July? The sun was sweltering. I had to put that coat on me and walk around the airport and around the airport in Bristol till I got, it was the only place that I could get, where I could get it home was to work. The sweat was lashing off me, but I sold it for £380. So it was worth sweating for. So that's why I loved the second-hand shops. You never knew what you were going to get in.
Amazing.
I sold a boat to this man, a toy, a model ship. But there was a big hole in the side of it, and I didn't see it. And then when he came back the next day and he says, there's a big hole in that. I said, sure, of course there's a hole. It's the bloody Titanic. That's why there's a hole in it. And he says, I never thought of that. He says, I said, sure, that's the Titanic ship.
The iceberg.
Yeah, that's where the iceberg headed. So there was some crack in it now. It was great.
No.
So I had to give it up because they put an age limit on volunteers.
Oh, right.
Yes, you had to be, if you were over 70, you couldn't work.
Jeez.
And it's the over 70s that was keeping it going.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because all the younger ones weren't going to work for nothing. They wanted paid. You can't blame them. They couldn't go out and live in fresh air. But so at the minute now, I am doing nothing really. Well, I don't mean doing nothing. But I'm going to bingo.
Oh, bingo! Good on you. Well, you know, yeah, I love a game of bingo. And I need. Your
daddy said that he's going to take me down to the bingo, or I'm going down to the bingo, and your daddy's going, and mommy's going to take me to the big bingo
in Dublin.
There's some big.
Oh, that'll be good.
Is it on every weekend?
Oh, the bingo in the gay bar in the George.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh,
that's where you used to work.
That's where I used to work. Yeah.
You know, do you not work anymore there?
Well, no, sure, I'm in Australia now.
Oh, Jesus, that's right. That would sort of be why, wouldn't it? That'd be a good reason why you're not there.
Yeah, that would be why.
And I was saying, I said, well, I'm meeting Luke after, and we're going to have a cup of tea and talk about it. And the Arvins are looking at me and say, what is she talking about? I said, I'm meeting Luke. Why are you going to Australia? I forgot you were in Australia. You must like it, do you?
Oh, and I
do you
love
like
it
Australia?
Here. I love it here. Yeah. This will be home now for a long time, I think, for me.
And does Orla like it as well?
Orla loves it, and it's amazing having Orla here as well. It's just so nice. I mean, all we need now is my mum and dad to get over here, but sure, with COVID, we can't do that quite yet, but they will, and we'll be united again, and we'll have a great time when we're together.
I will have a party.
Well,
I remember going up to your 18th. Was it your 18th or your 21st?
It could have been the 21st, maybe. No, that was Orla's 21st.
That's right.
That was the last time I saw you.
How long goes that?
Oh God, Orla's 25 now. That could be 4 years ago.
That's a good way from my seeing her.
Yeah. So that would have been the last time. Anyway, Anne, I need to ask you a question now about your jewellery collection. Because
that's a secret.
Well, I'm sure it's a treasure chest at this stage. But you collected a lot of
only copies I have.
Yeah, but jewellery's jewellery, right? What was your most favourite piece of jewellery that you have?
Favourite piece would be the bracelet and the ring that Raymond bought me. Oh. They're what do you call it? Fob, the mother of pearl.
Oh yes.
And the ring is the father of pearl. And now this what I have on me is all bling.
Oh,
the real stuff is in the safe. The real stuff is in the safe.
Oh, that's right. You need to leave that for the family. Here, look at this one that I have.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that?
So
Look at
there's
the
there's a
size.
there's a thrift shop in Sydney, and I got that for $5. $5.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Beautiful.
I love it.
Are there many shops there?
Oh, there's loads.
Are there
We have a
many
whole
shops?
area in Sydney called Newtown, and it's just full of like charity shops and secondhand shops. But some of it's expensive,
Right.
and then other stuff you can find a real bargain if you look hard enough. You know yourself. You need to just look hard enough.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
Anne, come here. Just
No,
before I come on, what were we going to say?
No, go ahead.
Okay,
Go
before
ahead.
I finish, I want to know, is there a particular saying or quote that you would live your life by?
Do unto others as you do unto yourself.
Good woman. Yeah, I thought so. Well, brilliant. Well, listen, I'm going to round it up now, and I just want to thank you so much for being involved.
Not at all.
I had a
Yeah,
ball talking to
I'm
you.
honored. I'm honored that you asked me.
Well, thank you, and I'm honoured that you said you'd do it, because I love the bones of you, and you just keep doing you and keep wearing that jewellery.
Oh, well, I'll leave it all to you.
Yeah, you heard that, Rachel, Joanne, you heard that. Come here, lovely talking to you. I'll give you a call soon. I love the bones of you. I'm going to let you go, all right?
Right, and thank you. I thoroughly enjoyed my trip down memory lane.
Good.
It was lovely.
Come on.
It
I
was
love you
lovely.
loads.
Take
Thank you,
care.
Anne. I'm hanging
Love
up.
you
See you
too.
later.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.